Chapter 3 in The Art of Gathering is titled, Don't Be a Chill Host. And in Chapter 3, Priya Parker defines chill as like masquerading caring about yourself or your own comfort over caring about your guests. And I think that's an interesting, right? We should really be focused on guests in everything we do around the gathering. And so don't be chill. And one of the measures of success that Priya defines, which I think is my favorite takeaway from this chapter, is an increase, a dramatic increase in the number of guest-to-guest connections. So in the beginning of an event or a gathering, most of the connections are between you as the host and each guest, right? And so by the end, if you've seen an increase in the number of guest-to-guest connections, that's a great measure of success. Now, I have experienced this in a couple different ways. I think back to a time when I had to lead people on a hike to get certification for Sierra Club so that I could take people on outings. And so I had shared this with my community, and people from different walks of life had signed up. And I remember my favorite part about this hike that I led was listening in the back to friends of mine from different circles find commonalities and connections and really enjoy sharing, conversation and time together on the hike. And so I just loved that. And I also think about this in terms of training. So many times, in training, we come together and it's, learner and facilitator. And really what I think, along with Priya, that is such a great measure of success is when the participants in the training connect with each other. There's a big push for peer-to-peer learning. That's what we all want. We want to learn from each other, others that are out in the world experiencing things similar to us, so we can share ideas and suggestions and perspectives. And so at the end of a training, when we have more, guest-to-guest connections, I think that's a great win. So people can go out after the training, stay connected and keep the learning alive. Priya provides a couple ways to increase this. One of them is to introduce your guests a lot, like more than you think you need to. So keep introducing people to each other and don't feel like you're overdoing it. Another suggestion she has, which I love, is let people know what they have in common. So share those commonalities with the guests. So if you've got two people that love sailing, let them know so they can, start up some conversation around sailing. If you have two people that, speak a foreign language, whatever it might be, let them know so that they can start to make those connections and decide if they want to carry on conversation together. So I love the idea of increasing the number of guest-to-guest connections in the gatherings that we have. I'd love to hear how you do that. And I'd also love to hear if you have any other nuggets that you pulled from chapter 3 that you think are just, really great and will help make gatherings so much more meaningful.